All right, everybody, here we are in Winchester, Virginia, one of my favorite French and Indian War colonial frontier cities. We are on Braddock Street, fitting name, no coincidence, and we are at the office of Colonel George Washington during the French and Indian War here in Winchester. Now, this building here is a really cool sort of connection to the 18th century when George Washington was at this site. He was given a pretty tall task, and that task was to defend 400 miles of the Virginia frontier. From this site here in Winchester, let me back up so you can get a better look at it. From this site here in Winchester, the 25-year-old George Washington, this is 1756 to 1758, was given the duty of defending, get this, the entire Virginia frontier from hostile French allied Native American attacks. He didn't have a lot of men, just a few hundred. They were an unruly bunch. He had to whip them. He held court-martials here. He even put some of his own men to death. But from this location, Colonel George Washington had to defend really what was the closest thing to an American West that the real political majority population centers of Virginia had. He had, again, about 400 miles that he had to defend. The fear was that French allied Indian warriors would sweep into the Shenandoah Valley and conquer it, and therefore move the frontier hundreds of miles back from where it originally sat in the Ohio River Valley. So Washington was under a tremendous amount of stress for a young man. It never seemed to overmatch him or overwhelm him. While he's there, we have the construction of Fort Loudon here in Winchester, Virginia. And there's a couple Fort Loudons. There's one in Tennessee and there's one in Pennsylvania. But this was the Virginia version of that, of course, named after Lord Loudon. And from this tiny little cabin here, Colonel George Washington orchestrated the defense of the of the Virginia frontier. While he was here, he was also elected into the Virginia legislature to serve in a civilian capacity as a politician. It's a really important site for George Washington, certainly on the trip to becoming the man he will be. So as always, look into this site if you're in Winchester. It's a beautiful old town. I'll give you kind of a scan of the area, and we will catch you next time. See ya.